Hi everyone, I am Christine Torres and I am the leader of the Group 4. Me and my group mates will discuss the last lesson. But before we proceed to our discussion, let me introduce you my team, which is Miss Grande, Mr. Buaya, Mr. Aluwad, Miss Gomez, and Miss Corpus. So let's proceed to the topic 14, which is separation from the organization. So for the lesson 1, we have a separation from employment. But what is separation means? Separation is the termination of employment as a result of resignation, retirement, layoff, or discharge. There are various ways of terminating employment under different circumstances, and the compensation of employees who are terminated is covered in articles in Book 6 of Labor Code as follows. So let's proceed to the articles. First is Article 279, Security of Tenure. In cases of regular employment, the employer shall not terminate the services of an employee except for a just cause or when authorized by this title. An employee who is unjustified dismissed from work shall be entitled to reinstatement without loss of seniority rights and other privileges and to his full back wages, inclusive of allowances, and to his other benefits of their monetary equivalent computed from the time his compensation was withheld from him up to the time of actual reinstatement. The next article is 280, Regular and Casual Employment. The provisions of written agreement to the contrary, notwithstanding and regardless of the oral agreement of the parties. Unemployment shall be deemed to be regular where the employee has been engaged to perform activities which are usually necessary or desirable in the usual business or trade of the employer, except where the employment has been fixed for a specific project or undertaking the completion or termination of which has been determined at the time of the engagement of the employee, or where the work or service to be performed is seasonal in nature and the employment is for the duration of the season. For the Article 282, Termination by Employer. An employer may terminate an employment for any of the following causes: A. Serious misconduct or willful disobedience by the employee of the lawful orders of his employer or representative in connection with his work. B. Gross and habitual neglect by the employee of his duty. C. Fraud or willful breach by the employee of the trust reposed in him by his employer or duly authorized representative. For letter D, commission of a crime or offense by the employee against the person of his employer or any immediate member of his family or his duly authorized representatives. And for letter E, other causes analogs to the foregoing. For the Article 283, closure of establishments and reduction of personnel, the employer may also terminate the employment of any employee due to the installation of labor-saving devices, redundancy, retrenchment, to prevent losses or the closing of or cessation of operation of the establishments, or undertaking unless the closing is for the purpose of circumventing the provisions of his title, by serving a written notice on the workers and the Ministry of Labor and Employment at least 1 month before the intended date thereof. In case of termination due to the installation of labor-saving devices or redundancy, the worker affected thereby shall be entitled to a separation pay equivalent to at least his 1 month pay or to a least 1 month pay for every year of service, whichever is higher.
Good day, everyone. My name is Erica Grande, presenting the Article 284 to 287. Article 284. Disease as ground for termination. According to this Article 284, an employer may terminate the services of an employee who has been found to be suffering from any disease, and whose continued employment is prohibited by law or is prejudicial to his health as well as to the health of his co-employees, provided that he is paid separation pay equivalent to at least 1 month salary to 1/2 month salary for every year of service, whichever is greater, a fraction of at least 6 months being considered as one of a whole year. Article 285. Termination by employee. An employee may terminate without just cause the employee-employer relationship by serving a written notice on the employer at least 1 month in advance. The employer upon whom no such notice was served may hold the employee liable for damages. An employee may put an end to the relationship without serving any notice on the employer for any of the following just causes. Number 1. A serious insult by the employer of his representative on the honor and person of the employee. The second one is inhuman and unbearable treatment accorded the employee by the employer or his representative. Number 3. Commission of a crime or offense by the employer or his representative against the person of the employee or any of the immediate members of his family. Number 4. Other causes analogous to any of the foregoing. Article 286. When employment not deemed terminated. The bona fide suspension of the operation of a business or undertaking for the period not exceeding 6 months, or the fulfillment by the employee of the military or civic duty shall not terminate employment. In all such cases, the employer shall reinstate the employee to his former position without loss of seniority rights if he indicates his desire to resume his work not later than 1 month from the resumption of operation of his employer or from his relief from the military or civic duty. Article 287. Retirement. According to this article, any employee may be retired upon reaching the retirement age established in the collective bargaining agreement or other applicable employment contract. In case of retirement, the employee shall be entitled to receive such as retirement benefits as he may have earned under the existing laws and any collective bargaining agreement and other agreements. Provided, however, that an employee's retirement benefits under the collective bargaining and other agreements shall not be less than those provided therein. In the absence of a retirement plan or agreement providing for the retirement benefits of employees in the establishment, an employee upon reaching the age of 60 years or more, but not beyond 65 years, which is hereby declared that the compulsory retirement age, who has served at least 5 years in the said establishment, may retire and shall be entitled to retirement pay equivalent to at least 1/2 month salary for every years of service, a fraction of at least 6 months being considered as one whole year. Unless the parties provide for broader inclusion, the term 1/2 month salary shall mean 15 days plus 1/12 of the 13-month pay and the cash equivalent of not more than 5 days of service incentive leaves. Retail. Retail, service, and agricultural establishment or operation employing not more than 10 employees or workers are exempted from the coverage of this provision. Violation of this provision is hereby declared unlawful and subject to the penal provision under Article 288 of this code.
Good day everyone, I am Charles Matthew Arboaya and today I will discuss the types of separation. Number one is layoff. So usually po nangyayari ang layoff kapag merong economic crisis tulad na lamang ng pandemic kung saan madaming negosyo at kumpanya ang nagsara. Marami rin pong employees na nawalan ng trabaho. So, nangyayari po ang layoff kapag ang kumpanya ay may mababang sales or hindi na ganun kataas yung kita nila at marami silang employees. So, napipilitan po silang magtanggal ng employees dahil nga po hindi na nila itong kayang pasahurin o hindi na nila kayang i-provide yung mga needs ng employees nila. Number 2 is resignation. Ito naman po ay ginagawa ng employee na mag-resign o umalis sa isang kumpanya sa maaaring kadahilan na ang kanyang pinagtatrabahuhan ay sobrang toxic or yung kumpanya is hindi binibigay yung mga needs or mababa ang pasweldo or meron siyang mas nakitang magandang opportunity na binigyan siya ng magandang offer kaysa sa kumpanya na pinagtatrabahuhan niya. And next is about the dissatisfaction cause. Number 1 is dissatisfaction caused by wages and working conditions. Kumbaga, yung pasahod na dapat nilang makuha, kung worth it ba yung trabaho nila sa sahod na makukuha nila. And in terms naman po ng working condition is kung safe po ba yung pinagtatrabahuhan nila or kung kumpleto ba ng gamit. Yun po. The next is misunderstanding with superiors or fellow workers. Yung ganito naman po, hindi naman to maiiwasan, lalo na kung nasa fast food industry kayo. Kasi alam naman natin na may mga tao po talagang merong mga toxic na pag-uugali. So, nangyayari po talaga to. At pwede po siyang maging dahilan talaga ng isang dissatisfaction. Dahil kung ganito ang workplace, mawawalan ka ng gana magtrabaho. The next is inconvenient work hours. So, ito naman po ay, kumbaga, nag-overtime ka, pero hindi binabayaran yung overtime mo. Isa po to sa mga dissatisfaction din talaga. Kasi, kumbaga, pursigido ka, sobrang sipag mo magtrabaho, then, okay sa'yo mag-overtime, pero hindi binabayaran yung overtime mo. Yun lamang po. Thank you.
B for better job opportunities. Merong iba't ibang types of separation na pwedeng maranasan ng mga individual throughout their lives. Isa na rito ang separation in search for better job opportunities. Based sa description, itong type of separation nangyayari pag ang employee umalis sa kanyang work para maghanap ng mas magandang job opportunities. Halimbawa na lamang ay ang isang employee umalis sa kanyang current job para maghanap ng mas magandang posisyon na merong makatarungan na kita or sweldo. Next is personal reason such as desire to continue one's studies. So itong reason na to is common na, the separation due to desire to continue studies. Dito, napag-desisyon ng employee na umalis sa kanyang work para mag-focus sa kanyang pag-aaral. Halimbawa na lamang ang employee, mas piniling abutin ang bachelor's degree na swak sa kanyang larangan kaysa mag-work muna since naiisip niya sa pagtapos ng kanyang pag-aaral is mayroong mga opportunities in the future na kakaway sa kanya. Next is physical and health conditions. So dito, papasok dito ang mga employee na need to time off for medical reasons or kailangan nang umalis sa trabaho dahil sa health conditions. Halimbawa, maaaring kailanganin ng isang employee na umalis sa kanyang trabaho dahil sa malubhang sakit or merong injury na pumipigil sa kanya para gumanap sa kanyang tungkulin sa trabaho. So, in this case, mahalaga talaga na kung sino man ang employer is i-handle ng mabuti, ng may pag-unawa ang separation process ng mga employee. Next is family circumstances. Dito naman, kailangan umalis ng employee sa kanyang current job para unahin ang kanyang responsibilidad sa isang family. Halimbawa, maaaring kailanganin ng isang employee na magpahinga para alagaan ang isang member of the family na mayroong sakit. O di kaya maaaring lumipat pa sa mas malapit na trabaho upang mas malapit siya sa kanyang mahal sa buhay. Mahalaga dito na ang employer ay makikipagtulungan sa employee, makipag-usap para maghanap ng solusyon. Retirement. A voluntary form of employee separation where an individual chooses to leave the workforce permanently after reaching a particular age or after completing a specified number of years of service. So ito naman, pinipili na isang employee na umalis sa kanyang work dahil naabot na niya yung particular age limit or na-complete niya na yung number of years sa pag-service. So sa Pilipinas, ang retirement age limit based sa RA number 7641 or also known as retirement law, nagbibigay ng mga employee retirement benefits kapag umabot sa edad na 60 taong gulang or but not beyond 65 years. So, karaniwan itong sinasama ng mga pension benefits at iba pang mga retirement benefit. Some companies nag-offer ng mga early retirement packages para incentivize ang mga employees to retire before the standard retirement age, which is nagbibigay ng financial incentives or healthcare benefits. Termination, a formal end of an employee's relationship with the company, typically due to poor performance or violation of company rules and policies. So, dito halimbawa na lamang is, ang isang employee ay pwedeng ma-terminate dahil sa patuloy na paggawa ng misconduct na labag sa company's code of conduct. Itong misconduct halimbawa na lamang is theft. Nahuling nagnakaw ng gamit ang employee sa company. So, ayun, pwede ma-terminate ang employee para maprotektahan ang reputation ng company. And of course, it's assets. Bukod pa rito, pwede rin ma-terminate ang isang employee kung paulit-ulit nitong finifail yung mga inaasahan sa kanyang trabaho kahit na nakatanggap na siya ng warning or binigyan na ng second chance for improvement.
Now, let's go to our next lesson, the grounds for termination by the employer. First is misconduct. Employee misconduct refers to the deliberate violation of a written or implied employee policy. Serious misconduct is when an employee intentionally does improper actions against you or a coworker. The act must be serious and related to their duties, and you no longer see them fit for your company. Halimbawa na lang po yung may mga matataas na katungkulan na humingi ng some sexual favors to those low-ranking employees. Tapos yung mga umiinom ng alak hanggang sa malasing sila and gumagamit ng pinagbabawal na gamot sa kanilang workplace. Tapos nagnanakaw sa kumpanya or mga katrabaho nila, mga nananakit ng mga kapwa-empleyado inside or outside the company premises. Ilan lang yan sa mga misconduct na nangyayari sa loob ng company na can legally terminate an employee. Next is gross and habitual negligence. Gross negligence is defined as the deliberate desire to lack care, failure to show care, or the total lack of care while dismissing the apparent consequences of such actions. Meanwhile, habitual neglect refers to repeated failures to perform one's duties for a period of time, depending upon the circumstances. Example naman po nito is yung cashier ka tapos lagi mong iniwan yung drawer mo na may lamang pera tapos nakasakbit lang yung susi mo doon. In such case po, cashier should be held accountable when the huge sums of money being kept in the drawer went missing. Parehas po doon sa bank teller na regularly umaalis kahit sandali lang, leaving the cash exposed while nandun pa yung mga depositor. However, in order to validly dismiss an employee due to abandonment of work, it is required that there must be a deliberate and justified refusal of the employee to resume his employment. So, hindi pala basta-basta pwede mo ma-terminate yung mga employees mo. Dapat meron kang justifiable reason na sinadya talaga nila hindi pumasok or iwan ang trabaho nila. Next is excessive absences. Isa rin po yan sa nagiging dahilan to terminate an employee. Repeated absences without a valid reason can be detrimental to business operation. Persistent non-compliance can lead to workflow disruptions din po. And violation of these policies often leads to termination. Next is fraud or breach of trust naman po. Acts of fraud like hiding and stealing cash or falsifying expenses can result in an irreparable breach of trust, and that leaves no choice but to let go of the employee. Ito po yung mga taong nagsisinungaling ng paulit-ulit. Nagnanakaw ng mga pera, tapos pinofalsify yung mga expenses ganun para sirain ng employee yung binigay na tiwala ng kumpanya sa kanila. And lastly, other cause analogous refers to similar serious and grave violation offenses similar in character and gravity as the other just causes. Yung mga nabanggit ko po kanina ay yung mga serious misconduct, gross and habitual neglect, fraud, excessive absences, and other causes po. Yun lahat yung mga misconduct or other analogous. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, this is Syra and I'll be reporting the due process in the context of employment termination. It is the right of an employee to be notified of the reason for his or her dismissal, and in case of the just causes, to be provided the opportunity to defend himself or herself. There are two types of dismissal based on the due process, which is the dismissal based on just causes, which involves the two-notice rule. First, a written notice, commonly referred to as a notice to explain specifying the grounds for termination and giving the employee ample opportunity to explain their side. After this, a hearing or conference to allow the employee to respond to the charges, present evidence, or rebut the evidence presented against them. And the second notice was a notice of the decision indicating the justification for termination as well as the corresponding sanctions after the due considerations of all evidence. An example of this is if an employee consistently violates company policies regarding attendance, they may receive a written warning outlining the issue and providing a chance to improve. If the behavior persists, a second notice may be issued indicating that the termination will occur if the problem is not resolved. This process ensures fairness and gives the employee a chance to address the concerns before termination occurs. The second type is the dismissal based on authorized cause involved sa following. First is the submission of a written notice of dismissal to the employee, specifying the grounds for dismissal at least 30 days before the date of termination. After this, a copy of the notice, which shall be provided to the regional office of the Department of Labor and Employment or the DOLE, where the employment is located. An example of this is dismissals based on authorized causes involves situations where an employer has valid reasons for terminating an employee's contract as defined by the labor laws of employment agreements. An example, like I said, is that due to the business closure, installation of labor-saving devices, retrenchment to prevent losses, and disease or illness that renders the employee unfit for continued employment. For instance, if a company undergoes restructuring and needs to downsize their workforce, they will need to dismiss some of the employees due to it being in a large number, provided that proper procedures and compensation are provided according to the legal requirements. And that is all for me. Thank you.